Hey, I'm Roland with Mobile Geeks, and we're still at the Samsung Unpacked After event. And what we've got here, right here, are two phones that might look the same to you, but they're actually quite different. This is the new Samsung Galaxy Note 3, and the one behind that is actually the LG Optimus G Pro. So that has been pretty much the best phablet you could get in the last couple of months, depending on if you wanted to get a G2, which is just coming out, or if you were trying to get or not wait for the Note 3. So actually Samsung is actually besting the LG Optimus G Pro right now, with a couple of features on the Note 3, but actually the G Pro is pretty much a decent device. This one has a 5.5-inch screen on here, Full HD, just the same as on the Samsung. Full HD resolution, that is, but there's a tiny difference in screen size because the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 actually has a 5.7-inch screen. It's kind of hard to tell, but if you look at the bottom edge of the screen, there's about like 2 or 3 millimeters in length that are actually a noticeable difference. The Note 3 has the same super small bezel as on the G Pro, which you can see if you look at them like this pretty much. You'd be able to see that there's maybe like 2 millimeters of a bezel right there. The Optimus G Pro is based on a Snapdragon 600, just as the HTC One, for example, but the new Galaxy Note 3 is using the new Snapdragon 800 that's running at 2.3 gigahertz as compared to the 1.7 gigahertz on the G Pro. Another difference is that Samsung is actually packing 3 gigs of RAM in there, whereas the G Pro only has 2 gigs of RAM. Nicole, tell me, can I remove the back on this?
Sure can.
I can.
And you can put an SD card slot in?
There's an SD card slot in there, so you can just pry it open. So just the same as on the Galaxy Note, which has this leather kind of feel on the back. They even have stitches on the side, so it looks like fox leather. Looks neat, but it's basically just a plastic back cover with a soft touch finish. That's what Samsung is calling it. Compared to the G Pro, which has this glossy, looks kind of like on the Nexus 4, for example. They have a square pattern on here. It's reflecting the light, but it's also attracting a lot of fingerprints, which is a difference towards the Galaxy Note. The batteries are pretty much the same size. So the LG has a 3140 mAh battery, whereas the Samsung has a 3200 mAh battery. So not that much of a difference. And depending on the CPU speed, the G Pro should have a bit of a longer runtime, actually. On this one, we have the SIM card slot down here and the SD card slot on the right. On the Galaxy Note 3, they have the 2 slots stacked on top of each other. The webcams the cams on the back are actually both 13 megapixels, but the Samsung has a so-called CRI flash up here that is supposed to be more bright and have a more natural look to the light. Another major difference again is that the Galaxy Note, as it's a Note device, actually has this stylus down here. I'm just going to keep it open for now, with which you can use a couple of nice software features. So if I go in here, for example, and try to write a message, I could just go up here and hover above, and it opens this menu. So up comes my manual input field, where I could, if I was able to write with my left hand, actually enter a name by handwriting. The G Pro doesn't have that, but again, that might be actually something worth a bit to a couple of people, because Samsung is, as always, trying to rock the market with a whole bunch of new software features on the Galaxy Note 3, which we're going to cover in another video later on, because the LG, which just turned off because I took out the battery, which is great, doesn't even have any special software on it. So basically it's kind of a Nexus style feel to it, because LG is actually keeping it low on the software features that are not super packed from the factory. That's something that some people actually prefer. So this this has been a quick comparison of the Galaxy Note 3 and the LG Optimus G Pro. I'm Roland from Mobile Geeks. See you later.